Today we got a lot of accessories. We have this giant extra large night angel wheel for our tortoise that I need to unbox. This is the night angel wheel, size extra large for hamsters, but a tortoise could run on here if you have a small tortoise. For instance, a Hermann, a Tunisian Greek. I went ahead and wrapped the base of it in cellophane because it's going to be directly sitting in the substrate. Before I can use this wheel, because tortoises have problem understanding transparent object, I will need to coat this in some type of colored adhesive, as I cannot dye the plastic. It's really difficult to dye acrylic. This you've already seen before, but it is the Thrive Habitat Decor. This is their giant log. I like this log, but it does have some very sharp edges on the inside, so I'm just filling it wherever is sharp. I will go ahead and grind it down. I went ahead and sand all around the edges, inside and outside. I also took my finger and run very gently on the inside of the log. Just make sure if I feel any very sharp bumps, then I can grind that down more smoothly. And you can see there's a lot of areas where basically when it was pulled out of probably some mold, there were some residues that caused it to stick up. So it felt like little prickly needles, and it was sharp enough to actually cut my hand, so I wouldn't want an animal to have to deal with that. I also got some plants today from Home Depot. I googled it to make sure that these were tortoise safe. Before I put it into the enclosure, I will rinse it out so there's no perlites or fertilizer that could be in the soil, and then I'll change out the soil to, plain soil with nothing. That is this guy here. I won't even attempt the names because I'm really not a plant person. I probably say it wrong. Then we got this thing, which looks like a mini bamboo to me, but let's see what it's called. That is what it is called. And we have this guy. He's very little. I was surprised by how expensive he was. What is he called? Right, this little guy is Juanita Fanina. He's very beautiful with the reds and the greens. I also have what I'm going to use as the feeding plate. This is Better Homes and Gardens vanity tray. It goes really well with the rock in the background, and it's about $9.99 at Walmart. It came very nicely packaged and safe and heavy. I heard it weighs 10 pounds. I weighed it and it weighs about 5, so a little bit lighter, which means we have a lot more weight for the substrate. I like it because it has a ramp and there's texture, so the tortoise can climb in and climb out. With my old water bowl, it was very nice, lightweight, easy to clean. The only thing was Gertie kept slipping in the water bowl, and also it was aluminum, so I felt like with the light it was reflecting in his eyes. Every time he was in the bath, he was closing his eye, so this should be better. This is how it looks on the bottom, hollowed out, so it can be a little lighter. And the rock texture actually goes all along the sides. So if you don't put it in a corner and you put it in the middle of the enclosure, it's still very nice to look at. I've been playing around with the orientation of the plants, so I think this is the layout that I like. After you put dirt, there's going to be room for the tortoise to walk around that root thing. It can climb on this log. Inside the log, there's a lot of space, so it can burrow down in there if it likes. There's this plant in the front to kind of cover up some of this glass in the front so it doesn't feel very exposed. We have the film to go around that wheel, but it's delayed. I got almost a transparent green type film. Then we have a slate that the tortoise can bask on. And we also have this food dish which ties in with the plate. I like the food dish because it has a little lip to it. With Gertie, when I put his food on the plate, he ended up just dragging it everywhere and it just got really messy. So the plate, the slate is going to be angled so that it would be a ramp up to that wheel, but then also, you know, where he can bask. And he can also, as he eats, he can trim his nail if he walks around. And I had to be careful where I put these things because of the location of the UVB light and the heat lamp. So on the heat lamp, to control humidity, I put the bath under it, kind of tucked into a corner, because I also have to leave enough space for the tortoise to burrows if it wants. So that area right there, of course, is going to be dirt, so it can burrow there. It can burrow in this corner, and of course inside is log house. And then the rest of the area, it can walk around and climb, or use this quote tortoise treadmill, because they do walk over a mile a day, I've heard. Tortoise need to walk a lot to help them digest, so the wheel would be really helpful to him. And the wheel is right under the UVB light, is next to the heat lamp, so it's going to keep him warm as he exercises. This frosted window, when you're up close, it looks very frosted, so he's going to see that there is a barrier. Same thing on the other side as well. So hopefully he doesn't seem, you know, too exposed or stressed out. Of course, we're not going to know because I don't have a tortoise yet.